The Starforge was a space station built by the Rakatan Infinite Empire in 30,000 before the Battle of Yavin. It was constructed above the star Abo in the Lihon system and drew upon the star's energy and matter, which, when combined with the power of the Force, was capable of creating an endless supply of ships, droids, and any other material. Known as the Builders, the Rakata species constructed this space station through the use of slaves from many worlds, including Dantooine, Coruscant, Manaan, and Tatooine, to name a few. But this technological wonder came at a cost. The Rakata were a cruel and savage species by nature. The Starforge, linked to the Force, began feeding off of these negative traits and became an immense tool of dark side power. Their long-term use of dark side power corrupted their society and turned them into a race of merciless warriors. The Rakata used their potent Force-powered technologies to conquer and enslave every other species they came across throughout their known galaxy. During the reign of their infinite empire, they were characterized by their cruelty, savagery, and arrogance. They were known to strip entire planets of their resources, terraform worlds to fit their own shifting needs, to kill entire slave workforces, and to eat and defile the bodies of slain enemies, and even members of their own species. After generations of galactic supremacy for thousands of years, the Infinite Empire began to fracture. Constant tensions between internal factions suddenly erupted into a devastating civil war caused by the Starforge's corrupting influence. Already weakened by warfare, the Rakata were suddenly struck by a deadly plague that spread rapidly through their ranks and decimated the species. It was later theorized that the disease was created by a slave species because it had only infected the Builders themselves. This plague nearly exterminated the Rakata species and brought the Infinite Empire to its knees. Thereafter, the Rakata suddenly and inexplicably began to lose their connection to the Force. They were unable to uncover the source of their failing sensitivity. In time, it would be revealed that a mysterious mutation in the plague had stripped the Builders of their powers. Millions of Rakata died as a result, and those that survived had lost their connection to the Force. As the Force users were culled from the population, the Rakata lost the ability to use their own technology. Soon, they were forced to rely on inferior devices that were not dependent on the Force. Sensing weakness in their masters, slave species rebelled, and large-scale insurrections occurred across the galaxy, resulting in the total collapse of the Infinite Empire in 25,200. As a result of their vulnerability, the Rakata were unable to suppress the massive outbreak of violent slave rebellions and uprisings against their rule. The remaining Rakata could do nothing but abandon their conquests and retreat to the safety of their homeworld of Lihon. Their species began a slow descent into barbarity, as they lived in tribes that would continually fight amongst themselves. Over centuries, the Builders were purposefully erased from the records of their slave subjects, and the Infinite Empire slipped from the pages of galactic history. A faction among the Rakata held memories and knowledge of the Starforge, and with so much time having passed, the Rakatan elders decided to destroy the Starforge in order to finally put their bloody past behind them. But as the Rakata could no longer use the Force, they had no way of fulfilling their quest. The Temple of the Ancients on Lihon was said to contain the secrets of the Starforge, but as they were no longer Force-sensitive, they could not use them. Thus, the Rakatan ancestors locked the knowledge of the Starforge away in the Temple of the Ancients, so it could never be used again. And so, they remained on the planet of Lihon, with the Starforge looming in the skies above, waiting to be found, while the rest of the galaxy continued to move forward, oblivious of its existence. The star map Revan and Malak discovered on Dantooine was the first connection the galaxy had to the Starforge, but it was only one piece of the puzzle which led to it, an incomplete map, and Revan knew that if they succeeded in finding more star maps, they could find the Starforge. He could deduct very little about what the Starforge itself was, based on the findings in these ruins, but he knew it was a powerful tool capable of turning the tide of any war. With such a tool at his disposal, the fall of the Mandalorians would be inevitable. Soon thereafter, they would find another map on the Wookiee homeworld of Kashyyyk, but the map too was still incomplete, and with the Mandalorian threat demanding their full attention, the two paused their search for the time being.